Welcome back to the channel, football fans. Today we dive deep into the incredible and heartbreaking story of Takehiro Tomiyasu, the Japanese fullback who once played at Barcelona's academy, transformed Arsenal's defense under Mikel Arteta, and looked set for a brilliant Premier League career. But now, at just 26 years old, he finds himself without a club. From his rise in Bologna to his glory days at the Emirates and sadly, to the injuries that derailed his future, we've got the full story for you. Stay tuned till the end because this one is both inspiring and tragic. Barcelona are on top of La Liga for the first time this season following a superb 2-1 home win over Real Sociedad. After 7 games played so far in 2025-26, Barcelona are unbeaten across all competitions, plus a 1-point edge over their fierce El Clasico rivals Real Madrid in La Liga. Real Madrid's 5-2 derby defeat to Atletico Madrid handed Hansi Flick's side a perfect setting ahead of hosting Real Sociedad, but they were forced to battle for a win against their Basque visitors. Former Real Madrid defender Álvaro Odriozola stunned the crowd by putting Real Sociedad ahead early, but Jules Koundé quickly leveled things up with his first goal of the season. Robert Lewandowski then sealed the win just after the hour mark, while youngster Lamine Yamal made a lively impact in the final half hour after returning from injury. Koundé, who has fought his way back into Hansi Flick's starting lineup at right back, wasn't shy about voicing his frustration with the team's overall display despite the victory. Koundé calls out Barcelona struggles versus Real Sociedad. "We lacked intensity in our performance, our defensiveness was not good enough, and we did not close down the pass inside which killed us on the goal," as per reports from Marca. "I didn't like our last 25 minutes in the game. We struggled too much and didn't have control of the ball. The previous 70 minutes were pretty good. We had chances to score more than 2 goals. I didn't like the end of the match. I think we've been doing well offensively and defensively from set pieces for quite some time. This year, with the addition of Rashford and Rooney, we've added 2 good takers and that helps." Up next for Koundé and Barcelona is a return to UEFA Champions League action as former boss Luis Enrique brings defending champions Paris Saint-Germain to Catalonia on October 1st for the second round of the league phase. On October 1st, FC Barcelona faced their toughest test of the season to date when they host PSG in the UEFA Champions League. It is one of the most highly anticipated clashes in the league phase of the Champions League this season, but injuries on both sides have somewhat dampened the excitement. Barcelona will go into the game without key players like Gavi, Joan Garcia, and Fermin Lopez. Meanwhile, PSG have also lost important stars such as Marquinhos and Ousmane Dembele for their trip to Spain. Désiré Doué is also a major doubt, whereas question marks linger over the availability of João Neves. Pessimism surrounding Kvaratskhelia and Vitinha. Now, according to Sport, PSG are pessimistic about the chances of having 2 more key players, Vitinha and Kvaratskhelia, available to face Barcelona. The midfielder and the winger, both very important players for Luis Enrique, sustained injuries this weekend in the League One game against AJ Auxerre and were unable to finish the match. Vitinha, who finished 3rd in the Ballon d'Or, was forced off before halftime. Although the substitution was described as precautionary, his worried expression suggested otherwise. Kvaratskhelia did not start the second half after clutching the back of his thigh. The feeling in Paris is pessimistic regarding both players. A decision on Vitinha and Kvaratskhelia will be made on Monday afternoon after medical tests, but the outlook is not promising, at least regarding a possible starting role against Barcelona. Coach Luis Enrique is reluctant to risk 2 of his most important players in only the second group stage match of the Champions League. The ex-Barcelona manager is wary of aggravating their injuries and losing them for a longer period in what is expected to be another congested season. So, it remains to be seen whether Vitinha and Kvaratskhelia are available for the trip to Barcelona next week or not. PSG and Barcelona will face each other on October 1st in the UEFA Champions League group stage, both teams carrying strong starts into the matchup. The reigning Champions League winners kicked off their campaign in dominant fashion, beating Atlanta 4-0 with 2 goals in each half, even without Désiré Doué and Ousmane Dembele. Barcelona followed with a hard-fought 2-1 victory at Newcastle United, led by a Marcus Rashford brace. With both clubs considered favorites, this clash could be pivotal in shaping the group standings. Barcelona midfield to play major role against PSG. Ahead of the Champions League match on Wednesday, PSG received an indirect warning from Barcelona manager Hansi Flick, who will lean on his midfield of Pedri and Frenkie de Jong. Hansi Flick couldn't hide his admiration for his midfield duo, praising Pedri and Frenkie de Jong for their chemistry. "They are outstanding players with a strong understanding of each other," Flick said via Marca. "They know exactly how they want to play, and their connection makes it very difficult for opponents to press us. It gives us more possession, opens up space, and that's the key. I'm really proud of the team." On the PSG side, Le Parisien reports that Vitinha is expected to be fit in time for the clash with Barcelona, with no major concerns about his knock. Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, meanwhile, is also pushing for a return, as he has shown in the past how quickly he can recover from setbacks. In addition, both Fabian Ruiz, who was rested recently, and João Neves are likely to be available, with PSG hoping Neves can get some minutes to ease back into full rhythm. On the other hand, Desire Doué is unlikely to rejoin the squad in time for Barcelona. He's making progress in his recovery, but will probably fall just short for this trip. "I played for the Barcelona Academy and transformed Arsenal's defense. Now I can't find a club age 26. A former Mikel Arteta favorite remains without a club at the age of 26. So what happened? If you rewind back to the 2021-22 season, things were very different for Arsenal. It felt like the start of something new. The Mikel Arteta project was finally beginning to come together, the club appeared to all be moving in the same direction, and this was led by a series of exciting young, talented players ready to live out the best years of their careers at the Emirates. Firmly among these was Japanese fullback Takehiro Tomiyasu. When a 22-year-old Tommyasu completed a deadline day move to Arsenal on August 31, 2021, he came with substantial pedigree. He was also a relative bargain, signing from Bologna for just £19.8 million. The right-back slot had been a problem one for the Gunners in seasons prior, and Tommyasu came in with only one objective, to make it his own. 4 years and just 36 Premier League starts later, Tommyasu finds himself without a club after seeing his contract at Arsenal terminated nearly 3 months ago. So where did it all go wrong? For anyone who follows Tommyasu or Arsenal closely, the simple one-word answer to this question is obvious. What many have begun to forget, though, is just how much of a promising player Tommyasu was at the Emirates before his recurring injuries began to hit. Tommyasu adapted to the Premier League with ease in his first season at the club. Slotting straight in at right-back, the Japanese international starred as the Gunners won 7 matches and 10 to rise from 20th up to 5th in the league. He had started every Premier League match and barely missed a minute when the injury issues began to hit in late December. First, he was substituted with a muscle injury against Leeds United. Missing 1 match, it was no catastrophe. But before he knew it, 1 appearance later and Tommyasu would spend 4 months on the sidelines thanks to 2 separate injuries. That first season would prove to be as good as it ever got for Tommyasu at the Emirates. Never making more than 22 Premier League appearances in a season, recurring calf and knee injuries meant that he was never too far away from the treatment table. Football.London's review of Tommyasu's debut season for the Gunners said it all. Probably Arsenal's signing of the summer, and there's plenty of competition in that department. Defensively immaculate and technically excellent, he instantly transformed the right-back position from one of weakness into one of strength. Sadly, injuries prohibited him from scoring higher, and the Gunners will be hopeful his muscle problems are behind him. 8 out of 10 inch, they said. When Ben White successfully transitioned into a right-back role in the 2022-23 season, Tommyasu was pushed down the pecking order and often found himself starting on the bench. After undergoing another serious knee surgery, he returned the following campaign and reminded everyone of his versatility by filling in at left-back during the title run-in, where Arsenal narrowly missed out by just 2 points in 2023-24. However, last season turned into a nightmare. Tommyasu featured for only 6 minutes of football before injury struck again, forcing him to undergo yet another knee operation in just a couple of years. By July, still sidelined and with 1 year remaining on his deal, Arsenal and Tommyasu mutually agreed to part ways. What began as a promising Arsenal career had fizzled into frustration, leaving the Japanese defender without a club and uncertain about his next step. Tommyasu's Arsenal career could have been very different. Tommyasu was far more than a deadline day panic by when he arrived at Arsenal. He was a player viewed as having the potential to go far at the club. Formerly on the books of Barcelona as a child, Tommyasu played for Barca's Escola Fukuoka Academy in Japan for 2 years. Talks of joining up with the club's main La Masia setup in Spain did not quite materialize, as he joined Avispa Fukuoka instead. Successful spells at Sint-Truiden in Belgium and then Bologna followed, before a 22-year-old Tommyasu made the step to the Premier League. In addition to his Barcelona tutelage, Tomiyasu boasted a strong international pedigree too. With 23 Japan caps already on his arrival in North London, Tomiyasu had captained his nation in the 2019 AFC Asian Cup final aged 20. Starting at both fullback and centre-back, he was a versatile and trusted member of the Samurai Blue side. He was hardly injury-prone at the time either. He had missed just 7 Serie A games through injury in his final year at Bologna and 8 the season prior. And there you have it, the rise and fall of Takehiro Tomiyasu. From being hailed as Arsenal's defensive savior to struggling with injury after injury, his journey is a reminder of just how cruel football can be. At only 26 years old, he still has time to revive his career, but the big question is, will a top club take a chance on him? Let us know in the comments if you think Tomiyasu can make a comeback. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more football stories, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, football family, stay passionate, stay connected, and keep the love for the game alive.